Welcome to the weekly Extra Point Live. I'm your host, Mo Kaw, here for the Roadshow edition for the Division A preview. Alongside with me is none other than the immortal himself, Darren Basperjan.
I wouldn't exactly call it the immortal, but I'm definitely happy to be here, Mo. And watch this game. It's going to be a very interesting one, I think.
Well, interesting indeed it is, because this will be the fourth meeting between these two teams. DA's finest, Rainmakers that is, playing in the DA final here. See that 10 times in a row. And look at it right now. It was the streaks that ended. Early in the season, the Rainmakers ended their winless streak over DA's finest / Montreal's finest by finally beating them. And now we're here to the fourth game here. Of course, for those who don't know, the playoff format was 1 versus 2. Winner went on to the finals. The loser of that game played number 3, which is the Mercenaries. And the Rainmakers were the number 2 seed that lost to the finals, beat the Mercenaries, now back in the finals. Looking at this football game here, missing pieces.
Definitely.
As you know very well at the press conference, as Kareem Bennett announced that Rashi Ben Abdelkader and Ken Moore both missing from the lineup. And you look at the combined total stats here, Darren, with these guys combined over 60 catches, over 800 yards receiving, and a lot of touchdowns. 8 INTs missing from those guys. How big a loss is this?
Well, Rashdi is not going to be as big a loss because they've been dealing with that loss for a couple of weeks. He's definitely a huge contributor for that team, but they played the Rainmakers in the first round of the playoffs without Rashdi, and they did a good job. So that's not the biggest loss. Losing a Ked Moore, on the other hand, he is the top playmaker for this team, both on offense and on defense, and especially this season on defense, Mo, as we've witnessed, winning Defensive Player of the Year. Let's go further than that. Apparently, and this is breaking news for you too as well, Mo Khan, Patrick Jerome was concussed earlier today playing in tackle football, so his presence is doubtful in this game. And on top of that, Kevin Wyeth has injured his shoulder and he wasn't able to throw as of a day or two ago. So it's really, the deck is stacked high against the the finest, or DA's finest, whatever we're calling them now, in this game.
You look at it from the Rainmakers' perspective, and they've been known, historically speaking, as a team that always fielded different lineups every single game. Mm-hmm. But it seems from all indications from the press conference that everyone could be back for tonight's game.
It's definitely in the potential. We're still not sure who's going to be here or who isn't 100%, but we have a very good idea that most of the core Rainmakers will be here in this game. Obviously, Ryan Kastner, as captain of the team, made a decision over the last couple of seasons to field a much deeper roster, have a lot more subs, a lot more guys, and it's gotten to a point where he said it was a Rainmaker first, that he might have too many guys and might have to sub quite a few. But we'll have to see who actually shows up, because it's one thing to say yes on Monday, a whole other thing to be here on Sunday for this team. A lot of guys who have other preoccupations, guys who are doctors and might be on call. So it'll be interesting to see who shows up, but they're definitely in a better situation than the finest, which is not something anybody expected going into this game.
Okay, then let's go to the pregame interviews that Darren Basperjan had earlier with the two teams coming up now.
All right, I'm here in the pregame interview with Keyshawn Thompson of The Finest. Keyshawn, let's get right into it. Your team is facing a lot of adversity in this game. We already knew that Ben Abdelkader was out. We know that Aked Moore is out, and now we're hearing that Pat Jerome is concussed and might not be here. What's the latest on his injury?
Well, we don't know if Pat gets here. It's going to be a big bonus to us, but we're prepared to go out here and play and with whatever we got. We already have the matchups that we want to do, so we should be fine. But if he gets here, it's a bonus.
And what about Kevin Wyeth? Now, we've been hearing that he's got a shoulder injury as well. What's his status going into this game?
He's going to be all right. He's going to be fine.
All right. Is there any adjustments you have to make because of this situation now with everybody missing or injured and things like this? Is there anything that from your original game plan that you've had to alter?
With the finest, everybody can play any position, so it's not much of a game plan. Everybody knows everybody already played the defense, so it shouldn't be much work for me. We should be all right. We should be good to go.
Who's going to be the key player for you guys tonight based on the matchups and the game plan that you have?
It's going to be obviously Kevin and the play of the defense. I'm looking for Ronaldo to be our X factor. People like to test him a lot, so I think he's going to come up big for us today.
All right, thanks a lot, Keyshawn. Good luck.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, I'm here with Bobby Michaelberg of the Rainmakers. First of all, Bobby, thanks for being here. I won't take too much of your time. I know you're ready to warm up, but let's talk about the Rainmakers team right now. Who's in, who's out, who's showing up in this game?
We're all here. We're missing Mike Chidiat, who's a big part of our team, but everyone else is ready to go.
All right, and what do you guys got to do in this game to play against the team, DA Finest, who are missing a few guys? Obviously, they're kind of hurt, and there's a bunch of guys missing. But what do you guys got to do to face a team like this that you've only beaten once in the franchise's history?
Nothing special. I mean, we'll play our game. We need to stop for 2-1 defense, and the rest should take care of itself. I mean, Rye's in good shape. If he's on target, then we'll score points. One big pick or one big turnover or fourth down.
Who's going to be the guy who's going to make that big stop on defense based on the way you guys match up? Who do you think it's going to be?
I thought I would be on D today, but Rye told me, they're pulling me. So I was hoping to be that man, but apparently I'm going to focus on offense today. I don't know. We got a bunch of good guys on defense, Adley or Teddy. So
maybe one of those guys. All right. Well, thanks for being here and good luck.
Great, thanks.
And welcome back now. And Darren, looking at the experience factor, and I look back at the old 08 grainy Div spring final when the Rainmakers played against the Kings, in which they lost. From my count, I believe there's 6 players from that roster who are going to be playing in today's game. Would you say that they have the experience edge, considering that, as you mentioned before, the Ace Finest missing a lot of guys from their roster going into this game?
Well, they definitely have more guys with finals experience, I guess, on this team. They have more guys who have been a part of the same team and have been through the ups and the downs, and so they know what to expect from each person, which is a big advantage to them. If you look at the Finest, like we said, first of all, the few guys that they do have banged up, but the core is still there. And the core that they have is much more experienced than the group of players we're talking about from the Rainmakers. So I think in terms of quantity, that's on the Rainmaker side, but in terms of quality, that's still got to be on the Finest side.
Looking at the matchups, and one in particular that we will look at for tonight's broadcast is Teddy Fournette against Kareem Bennett. Teddy Fournette in 3 games, 21 catches, over 200 yards receiving. This is a guy who had a fantastic series against the DA's Finest. How big of a matchup will that be? Do you expect Bennett to be on the same side as Fournette wherever he is lined up?
I definitely think Bennett is going to have a hand to play in that, especially with all the people that they're missing. You need somebody experienced and somebody who knows how to play the game on defense. Kareem Bennett is obviously a multiple-time award winner. He's the guy who's very well known in this league, an all-star in the past, and this is a guy who even if athletically it's hard for him it might be a bit harder for him to keep up with Fournette, who's obviously lightning quick, he's still fast enough to be able to do well enough, and he can anticipate and see the plays. And that's the part that we have to discuss is these two teams know each other so well, 4th time they're playing in this game, that they probably have a decent idea what each side is going to do. It's just going to be a question of who executes better.
And by the way, Teddy Fournette had 8 touchdowns in those 3 games prior to this one tonight.
He's the number 1 big play guy on the Rainmakers without a question.
Without question. Look at Francis Toupin. This is a rusher for Rainmakers. No sacks against Kevin Wyeth, but because of the injury that Kevin Wyeth has suffered, he's not 100%. So how big of a factor will he be in this game tonight?
Toupin will still be a factor, as any rusher is. I still think that despite the injury, I don't think it'll slow Kevin Wyeth enough for him to give those extra seconds to Toupin. Maybe we'll see him get a sack, which in itself would be a huge feat because very hard to sack Kevin Wyeth. But I do think that the important thing is if Wyeth's arm is not working as well, or if he's a bit more tentative with some of his throws, we might see him having to try and move the pocket a little bit more. We might see him trying to stretch the play or wait a little bit longer, wait for something he's more comfortable with as a throw, and that might give Toupin a bit more time. But still, they'll be looking for a contribution, but I don't think that'll be the key matchup in this game.
Just off your head, Darren, any X factor for both teams that you're looking forward to watching tonight?
Well, my number 1 X factor, obviously we mentioned Teddy Fournette for the Rainmakers, but still I think the quarterback, Ryan Kastner, has to be your top X factor. This is a guy who has been playing and improving from season to season, and while his numbers have kind of had peaks and valleys, I think in this season has been the best all-around effort we've seen from Ryan. And as long as, if he doesn't turn over the ball, if he doesn't give those playmakers and those ball hawks on the Finest a chance to intercept that ball, then I think we're looking at a probable Rainmaker win. He's got to protect that ball and be smart.
And finally, for the CNN official confirmation, who is your Div A championship by the end of the night?
Well, my division. Oh, I just realized we didn't say an X factor for the Finest.
Oh, go with that or not?
And that's a very tough one as well. I think
health. How about that?
Health is probably a pretty big one. I think Matt Kerouac could have a fairly decent say in the matters. Obviously, Kastner is a guy who gets sacked a lot. But number 1, it's got to be, I think, Keyshawn Thompson. It's the heart and soul of this team, and he's going to have to elevate his game even higher than that. For the prediction in my column, I did pick the Finest. With all this news I've got now, I know I always say never count these guys out, but I think this time I'm going to have to. I think I'm going to pick the Rainmakers to finally win their first championship.
So there you have it. Darren Basterjan has switched his pick to go with the Rainmakers for tonight. Coming up next is the broadcast of the Div A Finals, followed by the halftime report, then the post-game recap with Darren Basterjan and I. Coming up next, the Div A spring final here on the Weekly Extra Point Live.
Welcome, everybody, to the Weekly Extra Point Live Division A Championship edition of the Road Show. I am your host and your play-by-play commentator for this episode, Darren Basmajan, and with me is a former member of one of these teams that we are going to be seeing in the finals, Mo Khan, providing color for this game between the Rainmakers and the Finest. Mo, quick thoughts on this game.
Fourth time they're going to meet this year, Darren. This is going to be big, of course. This is for the DA Finals. Montreal's Finals, DA's Finals have won twice. Rainmakers beat them finally for the first time ever in their history this season, so it should be intriguing for sure.
Definitely, and this will be their second time playing against each other in the playoff run now. Montreal's Finest, or the Finest, I should get used to saying. We're getting on that first one as we see Kevin White taking first snap of the game. Incomplete, missing down the sideline to Keyshawn Thompson, and this is going to be the question mark for the game. How healthy is Kevin White?
You wonder that right shoulder, his throwing shoulder, not connecting with Keyshawn down the seam route over here. And looking at that could be a big factor in the football game.
I mean, Kevin is a guy who we don't see miss often in a game, and to see him miss by that much was a bit surprising. On second down, rolling left, throwing back to his right to Kareem Bennett, and again, missing by a bit, although very good coverage by Victor Sultan.
Yeah, Wyeth likes to go against the flow of the grain here and try to connect on the backside. Couldn't connect this time with B-Nets.
And we'll see, again, how that arm affects him. On third down now, this is a big one. Going deep down the middle to Andre Knights, but he misses, overthrows him, and Ben Leger nearly had an interception on that one.
Ben Leger had the over-the-top coverage on Andre Knights. Knights couldn't corral in at the highest point. Leger almost had the INT.
We'll see what they do on fourth down here. We know that they are gamblers, but it's a bit early to be forcing anything. So, well, I guess I was wrong. They are going for it. And Kevin White goes over the middle, threads the needle through to Don Shepard, who gets some yards after the catch. Gutsy play call, gutsy throw as well, but it kept looking more like Kevin White of old on that one.
A huge completion through two Rainmaker defenders right up the middle. Don Shepard with his big height able to corral that football for a huge first down.
A 29-yard gain on that play. On fourth and goal, and the Rainmakers have to be kicking themselves. Now we have first down here. Kevin White pumps, looks to the right, but again, misses Kareem Bennett over the top of his head, missing by a few yards.
And keep an eye out for that, Darren, whether or not they can connect in the red zone. DA's Finest not that strong in the red zone. When they get close enough, it gets very compact down there.
And this is somewhere where losing guys like Rashid Ben Abdelkader and Aked Moore must hurt. As we see Kevin Wyeth rolling to the right, cutting back to the left, getting some yards by the run. We don't see him do it often, Mo, but he does it fairly well.
He's sneaky athletic, Kevin Wyeth, and he's able to elude the rush of Tupan to get deep inside the red zone.
And that gets a 10-yard gain, bringing up first and goal now. And we'll see what Kevin Wyeth has in his bag of tricks. He's looking quick slant in to Keyshawn Thompson and just misses him a bit there.
Signature play for DA's Finest with a quick slant to Keyshawn Thompson. Looking for the flag, didn't get it though.
Yeah, well, Keyshawn is the guy who will be vocal about those types of things. Kevin Wyeth now on second and goal. Waiting, didn't see anything he liked, and then he takes that sack by Francis Toupin, and that will be a big matchup. We'll see if the Rainmakers can get pressure.
Toupin had to avoid his own teammate, Ben Leger, to get around him to get the sack, so very impressive by Toupin for a big sack for Rainmakers.
And that will definitely be a big matchup. We'll see what they can do. Third and goal now. Kevin Wyeth rolling to the left. He finds Andre Knights, who eludes the tackle and slides right into the goal line, past the goal line for a 1-yard touchdown grab.
Simply, Kevin Wyeth, with his strength of his arm, looking pretty good on that pass completion to Andre Knights for a touchdown. Huge play for DA's Finest early in the first half.
The score is now 6-0 DA Finest. They are looking a little bit better after some early fumbles. Kevin Wyeth with the rolling snap to the left, cuts back over the middle, throws it to Don Shepard, and that is a play, like you said, Mokan, they like to use.
Against the grain right now, Kevin Wyeth looking to his left, going over the middle to Don Shepard, finding him open for the extra point.
In goal line situations, you always have to be aware of Don Shepard.
Without question.
7-0 Finest, and we see the Rainmakers' first offensive drive as Ryan Kastner takes the snap, goes to the left of his snapper to Bobby Michaelberg, a guy who was granted eligibility through some machinations between the DA captains, and he gets a 7-yard gain. And now we see second down coming up as Kastner looking to the left, cutting back over the middle to Charles-Antoine Sinot with a 10-yard grab and a flag on top of it as Kareem Bennett came in a little physical.
Great moxie by Ryan Kastner, staying in the pocket, throw it over the middle, over to Sinot, and a penalty that will be called on Kareem Bennett for going over the top trying to flag Sinot.
Rainmakers pivotal for them to respond to that early drive by the Finest as Ryan Kastner hits Teddy Fournette on the right sideline, gets a couple yards after the catch. That'll end up going for 12 yards.
A quick one-step throw right to Teddy Fournette. Great hands by Fournette, an underrated player in offense, even though he's known for his defensive accolades.
Well, he has exploded on the offensive side of the ball this season, playing with Ryan Kastner. It's been a good combination for the Rainmakers. And as we see Kastner now going on second down, almost intercepted by Kareem Bennett, making a great jump, and the Finest are known for those kinds of plays.
And that's the one thing about Ryan Castor. He likes to go with that quick pass. Unfortunately for him, he couldn't connect with Teddy Fournette on that extra point attempt.
And so now we are looking at the second offensive drive of the Finest. Ronaldo Jordan getting in on the action. This is a guy who is seeing a bit more action in this game as Patrick Jerome is not there. They're missing quite a few key injuries, but he's a guy who can play some good offense. It is now 2nd down and 5 as he goes deep to Andre Knights with a touchdown grab, and Kevin Wyeth seems to be back. A little early to conclude it, but a 33-yard touchdown grab.
A simple wheel route by Andre Knights, catching that ball not once but twice on that play over Adley DeFore. A huge play for DA's Finest to get another touch TD.
And what an addition for the Finest in this one. Kevin Wyeth bobbling the ball here on the extra point, but again over the middle to Donald Shepard, who does the toe tap to keep it in.
And a great concentration by Wyeth to keep the ball in play and throwing a great ball in the back of the end zone to Don Shepard.
Score is now 14-6 for the Finest as Kevin Wyeth had some early struggles, looking much better now. And we see Rainmakers' second offensive drive as a pump and then a throw down the sideline to Bobby Michaelberg, making his second grab of the game. That'll go for 15.
Ryan Castor's got to be awfully aware of Matt Kirak, the rusher for DA's Finest, who can get to the quarterback very easily and get that ball off much quicker than he did before.
And now bringing up another first down situation near the midfield for the Rainmakers as Kastner goes quick to Tim Kramer, a returning Tim Kramer, who missed the first 2 games of the playoffs for them.
Yeah, Tim Kramer's got probably the best hands on this football team. A quick slant in. That's a signature Ryan Kastner play at midfield for the Rainmakers offense.
And now Kastner receiving the snap and going to his outlet option on his right to Derek Kastner, his brother, and a snapper who gets a lot of balls in this offense.
Yeah, Derek Kastner likes the out routes, and that's what they do with him most of the time, going towards the flats, gain that 4 or 5 yard gain to make it 2nd and short.
Well, in this case, it was a 9-yard gain, and that brings up first down for the Rainmakers offense. And again, this time to the left to Derek Kastner. And you know what, Mo? And he rolls, evades the tackle by Andre Knights, who looks quite disappointed in himself. 2 tacklers, in fact, and gets in the end zone.
That might be a little bit of FPF for us for Andre Knights, who hasn't played a full season this year, coming in halfway through for DA's Finest.
And that brings the score to 14-12, a pivotal extra point here, as they all are. Ryan Kastner going, and again, Kareem Bennett, that's the second time on an extra point that Kareem Bennett has made a great break on the ball.
Very remarkable for Bennett because he is coming off a big injury earlier in the season to jump up like that in the air and get to the highest point in the football to throw it away.
Well, we'll see how the Finest respond now. They are going toe-to-toe, 2 Division A heavyweights. Kevin Wyeth looking down the sideline to Pat Jerome, he's returned, and he evades tacklers and makes a 37-yard grab. How do you leave Pat Jerome that open?
Pat Jerome is a field stretcher for this DA's offense, and you can see right there that he was able to stretch it out for a huge gain in a first down for DA's Finest.
Well, he's a difference maker, and having him back, he was doubtful with a possible concussion. Having him was going to help. And now a quick throw and a touchdown to Don Shepard, making his presence felt. He had 2 catches on an extra point, a big catch over the middle, and now a touchdown.
Yeah, it's a quick slant in. Don Shepard, that's a signature play for DA's Finest with Don Shepard. To throw that quick slant going over the middle. Great play by him.
Now 20-12 as Wyeth rolls left, goes over the middle. There was a decent chance of a catch there, but Ronaldo Jordan was not able to haul it in as we see him extend.
And so far, Rainmakers have not been able to adjust to the against the grain throw by Kevin Wyeth, as he's been able to connect most of the time except for that one play.
Kastner now receiving the snap, pumps to his right, throws to his left, and Derek Kastner making his 3rd grab on this Rainmaker drive.
Yeah, you know, Derek Cash is going to have to be big for this football team. It seems to me that Sinat and Fournette are going to be the guys that they zero in on for the Finest.
Kastner now looking again to his left, really doing a great job distributing the ball as we see Tim Kramer make a catch and going for 18 yards.
A great play by Tim Kramer. As we said before, very athletic, probably the best receiver all around for the Rainmakers on this football team.
Ryan Kastner, no incomplete passes on the drives. A couple on the extra points, but Kastner now pumping, throwing over the middle, and, well, I guess I jinxed him because he missed by a bit on that one. Good pressure.
Matt Kirak with fantastic pressure on Ryan Kastner, avoiding the roughing the quarterback penalty, so he gets that big play by them.
2nd down now and 10 for the Rainmakers offense as he throws to Derek Kastner. Derek Kastner getting a lot of targets early in this game.
Oh, again, as I said before, DA's Finest is trying to minimize Michael Burke, Snut, and Fournette by having to go to Derek Kastner, the 4th option on that offense.
Now 3rd down, and they need some yards. Sinut with just a quick slant in, and that was enough for them to get close, but 1 yard shy of the first down. Obviously, 4th down territory here.
Signature play for the Rainmakers, that slant in. They always use that play at this point of the field.
4th down, Kastner running, and he is stopped short It appears to be the case as you see Keyshawn Thompson jump for joy. Turnover on downs, tackled by Andre Knights.
Well, not only that, Matt Kerouac was the man who forced Ryan Castor to take a different angle on that run and play. Great play by Andre Knights, but a bigger play by Kerouac.
Well, there's the first defensive stop of the game. Don Shepard with an uncharacteristic drop there, but they're going to have to get a little bit closer. Shepard has been wide open on many plays.
He has been, and that's something he'll definitely look upon as his fault on this play.
Second down and 10 yards for the Finest after that big turnover on downs. Looking deep, Ronaldo Jordan just misses it. He jumped, he extended, but he missed it by a bit.
Just mistimed that jump to catch that football. His body was a little bit torqued on that play, so it was a bit awkward for him to go up in the air like that to catch that football.
That bringing up third down. Rainmakers looking to make a stop of their own here. This will be a big play for them if they can get a stop. Wyeth looking deep down the right sideline. Oh boy, Pat Jerome again down that right sideline.
But there's going to be a PI on that offensive pass interference by Pat Jerome on that play. He pushed off on the DB to make that big catch right there.
Yeah, you can see it right there, Mokan. You see it clear as day. A push off there, and the Rainmaker defender happy with that call. So it brings up another third down, a bit further back in the end zone. Throws it off to Don Shepard, and Don Shepard sure hands on that one. Getting a 6-yard gain. But they still need a whole lot. You think they're going to go for it, Mo?
I think without question. Once again, going against the grain on that throw by Kevin Wyeth, going to his left, throwing to his right. Don Shepard's always been a safety valve for that play.
Well, here we go. Fourth down. They need a big one here, about 4 yards shy of the beanbag. Evades the rush, and Kevin Wyeth. That is a big play, Mokan. Francis Toupin just missed a sack on that one.
As we said before, Wyeth is sneaky athletic. He's able to avoid the pass rush and get that huge first down for DA's Finest.
Well, that was the second time that they've brought them down to fourth down, and the Rainmakers just not able to force a stop. That's the difference so far in the game. First down for the Finest offense. Going over the middle again to Don Shepard. I tell you what, Mokan, they're going to have to find a way to stop Don Shepard. Second down coming up now. He goes over the middle, and Ronaldo Jordan again just misses it.
They can ill afford to drop those balls there, and they have to catch them because, again, this is a team that has no depth on this final Sunday right now, so they have to make those catches to avoid any of these miscues.
Second down. Sorry, I called that one second down. This is second down now. Second down, Kevin Wyeth and Don Shepard again. They're going to have to find some kind of solution. Don Shepard with the second touchdown of the game.
Rainmakers have no answer to Don Shepard's height and his hands right now. He is dominating the middle of this football field.
Well, that certainly, if there's a turning point in this game, I think it is that missed sack by Francis Toupin, and the score is now 26-12 as Don Shepard on the extra point now. Evades another sack, and they get an extra point. Andre Knight scores now 27-12, and we are going into halftime here. Very impressive game so far.
A huge touchdown for DA's Finest before halftime. That's going to definitely set the barometer for the
All right, reporting at halftime, it is a 27-12 lead for DA Finest. Surprising for a lot of us here with all the injuries, people missing. We weren't expecting it to be a DA Finest lead, but they've really come out very, very strong. Kevin Wyeth, despite the injury, playing a great game. Pat Jerome showing up despite his injury. So really, they're playing a very good game. Rainmakers feeling a little tentative on their end, and we'd like to see them kind of maybe increase the tempo, go a little, make things look a little more urgent in this second half. We'll have to see what adjustments both teams make for the Finest to try and keep the lead and for the Rainmakers to try and come back. Back to me and Mo. All right, back for the second half as the Rainmakers start with the ball this time. A quick pass to Tim Kramer getting in on the action, 7-yard gain.
Well, again, Tim Kramer is the guy that they have to look upon in the second half to stretch that football field. Got great speed for him.
Second down now, and Ryan Kastner looking towards Kramer again, just a little bit out of his reach.
A great pass rush by Matt Kerouac to force Ryan Kastner to throw that off his back foot. Tim Kramer couldn't corral that football in for a first down.
And that'll bring up a third down and 3 yards. Big play for the Rainmakers offense now. As Ryan Kastner goes deep over to the left sideline, and Ben Leger with a 19-yard grab. First huge offensive play for them.
He may look unorthodox, but Ben Leger's got some great athleticism towards his gameplay. Big play.
Bring up first down now as Ryan Kastner pumps and goes to Tim Kramer, who does make the catch over the middle this time. And he is brought down for a 9-yard gain by Keyshawn Thompson.
Kramer found the hole in the zone, caught that right at the right point, and gets a deep catch.
Kastner doing a very good job of staying alive in a lot of these plays under intense pressure from Matt Kerouac. This brings up second down, pump fake, and he catches Derek Kastner for his second touchdown of the game. A 1-yard touchdown grab, scores 27-18 Finest.
Yeah, Kastner likes using that center in the red zone, and he found Derek Kastner open for the touchdown.
A very important drive for the Rainmakers as we watch this extra point. Kastner going to, oh, what a beautiful catch by Tim Kramer. Nice extra point catch. Now it's 27-19. Toe tapper.
Not getting one, but 2 feet in for the extra point attempt.
Very impressive catch by the Rainmakers receiver. Now, score is 27-19. Finest. Let's see how Kevin Wyeth will respond. Going over the middle to Pat Jerome, and boy, is he making his presence felt after missing the start of the first half. This is his third huge play and his second touchdown.
Yeah, Pat Jerome has 8 gears to his speed. He was on gear 9 right now, actually, to get that touchdown. No answer for the Rainmakers on that TD by Pat Jerome.
Really, it has been Don Shepard and Pat Jerome torching the Rainmakers defense so far. Scores 33-19 for the Finest. This is Kevin Wyeth looking for Don Shepard. This time they had an answer for him, and so the score remains 33-19. This will be a pivotal drive for the Rainmakers, Mo.
Without question, they have to score a touchdown or reply back because, again, the Rainmakers have the full depth. DA's Finest doesn't.
And Rainmakers now just a nice, quick, open pass to Bobby Michaelberg.
A great catch by Bobby Michaelberg. His size alone could be a detriment for the DA's Finest, again, with how big he is. Good hands for him. A good tight end, essentially. Rob Gronkowski we're looking at right
now. And a 16-yard catch for Gronk there. And now, wow, what a catch to Teddy Fournette. Just kind of rolling over to the left side. A nice pass by Ryan Kastner as well.
A good drag route by Teddy Fournette, catching in between 2 Finest players to get the first down for the Rainmakers.
We're going to need to see Fournette make bigger plays in this second half here for the Rainmakers offense. Charles-Antoine Sinot makes a big grab, slides into the end zone for a touchdown, and that's what the Rainmakers had to do.
Again, Darren, Ryan Kastner likes to go with that slant pass at that point in the football field, bouncing up, open for a touchdown. A huge play for the Rainmakers.
Mo, at some point, will the Rainmakers have to open their game up a little bit, get more aggressive, or is the slant game going to keep working?
Slant game's working for them right now. DA's Finest has not adjusted yet to that play.
It is a now 7-point lead for the Finest after that catch by Tim Kramer in the end zone for the extra point. 33-26 the Finest. Let's see what Wyeth has up in his bag of tricks. As a pass to Keyshawn Thompson on the left sideline. Missed tackle by Charles-Antoine Sinot after Fournette gets him, though.
Yeah, Wyeth knows he's got to slow it down, milk the clock on the offense because, again, he's going too many times deep for the touchdown, not giving his some time to play on the offense.
So now at midfield, Kevin Wyeth rolling to his left, going deep, disregarding Mo Khan's suggestion. Andre Knights gets tackled just shy of the goal line, but it is a 29-yard grab for the Finest.
A great touch pass in between 2 Rainmaker defenders to get a huge play by Andre Knights up the sidelines for a first down inside the red zone.
Nobody does that better than Kevin Wyeth, Mo, and you know it better than most.
We on the defense anyway.
Well, but you get to see it. Best vantage point of all. Going over the middle to Don Shepard, and this time the Rainmakers had 3 guys in the zone. It was just a tough pass for Wyeth to needle there.
Yeah, Wyeth had no pressure, but again, with that many people in the middle of the football field, very tough to convert the completion.
Bringing up 2nd and goal now, Wyeth on a slant in. You talked about it earlier, Mo Khan, Keyshawn Thompson. They love that play in the goal line.
That's their signature play. When they get inside the red zone, Keyshawn Thompson slant in, catches that 9 times out of 10, and Charles-Antoine Sinot giving him props.
Yeah, because he knows that that's just a play that they would have a hard time stopping. Score is now 39-26 as the halfback pass to Pat Jerome getting involved on the offensive side as a quarterback this time, and he completes a pass, and everything is going right for this Finest offense. It is now 40-26.
A great toe tapper by Keyshawn Thompson. Great concentration to get both hands on the play for an extra point convert attempt.
And nice pass by Pat Jerome. Will we see him go offense perhaps in 2013?
You never know.
As a quarterback. We are arriving at a pivotal stage of the game here. Rainmakers opening the playbook up, and a deep pass to Tim Kramer, 20-yard catch. Tim Kramer's been one of their top receivers this game.
Yeah, he's been very devastating for the Rainmakers offense, catching a lot of balls from Ryan Kastner.
Kastner now looking to his right and finding Derek Kastner for a meager 3-yard gain. They're going to need to speed things up now.
They will, and they have to be very hyperactive on offense, make it short drives, score quick touchdowns, force a turnover or 2 from the DA's Finest if they can.
Bringing up 2nd down now and 7 yards. Finding Bobby Michaelberg for a 7-yard game, which brings up 1st down and goal.
A good cross run by Bobby Michaelberg. They'll have to use his size inside the red zone to get any touchdowns.
And now we have Ryan Kastner looking to his left, now looking to his right, and just running out of options as Matt Kirouac makes his presence felt with a sack.
Matt Kirouac, fantastic rush by him, not giving up on the play, getting Ryan Kastner for a huge sack inside the red zone.
A loss of 5 yards forced by Hammer, number 69.
That's right.
From his Joker's days, I guess. Second down and goal now as they are backed way, way back. Ryan Kastner looking to his left, pumping, going to his right. Derek Kastner with a catch for 7 yards, getting some of that yardage back.
Well, Matt Kurak once again forcing the play, having him throw Ryan Kastner to Derek Kastner, his safety valve for a short gain.
Well, now they're back where they were before the sack. Third and goal as Kastner goes to his right. Teddy Fournette getting a touchdown there on third down, 6-yard touchdown grab, bringing the score to 40-32.
Yeah, it seemed like a miscommunication on DA's finest. Teddy Fournette open at the front of the goal line for an easy touchdown for the Rainmakers.
And that is 40-32. We'll look at the extra point now. There's an 8-point lead for the finest. This will be big. Derek Kastner catches the ball, but just outside the back of the end zone.
Once again, Matt Kurak with a great rush on that play.
Here we go, 40-32. How will Wyeth respond? It looks like he's responding the same way as he did on the other ones as he connects to Pat Jerome with a deep touchdown over the middle. Another 40-yard touchdown grab by Jerome.
It seemed like a replay from the last touchdown to Pat Jerome, but once again, Rainmakers have no answer for Pat Jerome in this half.
Adley DeFord just getting blown by on that coverage. Breakdown in coverage all night for the Rainmakers, and they have no answers to this finest offense. 46-32 now. Wyeth, again, now a halfback option to Keyshawn Thompson, and Wyeth catches the ball, thrown back to him. I think he's held just shy, but you could say there's a little trickeration there.
Yeah, great hands on Kevin Wyeth, but he doesn't have that Pat Jerome speed to get to the end zone. So it came up short, though.
Well, an interesting turn of events on that one, but the clock is now ticking. Rainmakers need a big play as quickly as possible as they are down by 14 points. And there is a big play for them as Teddy Fournette gets a catch and eludes the tackle going all the way down the field, getting wide open down the middle, Mo.
Simple hook route that he's able to get more yak on that play. Great play by Teddy Fournette.
Well, this is what they need, big plays after big plays. Tim Kramer making a catch, evading some tackles, and he is, I think, held just short of the end zone, though.
Yeah, Tim Kramer again come up with a clutch catch for Rainmakers.
1st and 4. Ryan Kastner over the middle. Oh, boy, Pat Jerome read that one from start to finish, and he makes his presence felt yet again, this time with an interception.
Yeah, Pat Jerome suckered Ryan Kastner to throw that football over the middle. He read it perfectly, got the INT, and got it out of the end zone. A big play for the DA's finest.
Well, you'd have to think, absent a major turnaround here, that might have sealed the deal for the finest.
It could very well be.
Not too much time left as Wyeth sets up shop at the midfield point, gets a quick pass off to Ronaldo Jordan. No need to go flashy here, Mokan. I think just slow and steady, grind the clock out, don't turn over the ball will be the motto for this finest offense. Kevin Wyeth rolling to the left, and he's got a wide open Andre Knights on the sideline. You have to feel the deflation on the Rainmakers side right now.
If you're the Rainmakers, you must feel disheartened by the fact that a depleted finest team, was able to score this many points on a full roster for the Rainmakers.
I mean, Rainmakers had everything going. The only guy they were missing was Chidiat, who obviously is a two-way player of the year, but Michael Chidiat not being in this game. And as for the finest, as we see Kevin Wyeth run to the right, is he going to get in the end zone? I think he is held just short. So he's 2 yards out, bringing up 2nd and goal. As I was saying, Mo, I think with the finest missing Rashdi Ben Abdelkader, missing a Ked Moore, Pat Jerome arriving late, you had to think this was a Rainmakers shot.
It could have very well been their best shot, but again, for the DA's finest, they had that finals experience, as you see by the touchdown to Pat Jerome.
Ronaldo Jordan getting a 2-yard touchdown grab, bringing the score to 52-32, and it's all set and done. I think at this point, a 20-point lead this late in the game is going to be the end of the festivities for the Rainmakers. Mokan, what did the Rainmakers have to do in this game?
They had to make a stop on defense, which they couldn't do. And again, the 2 4th-down situations by the DA's finest where they were able to convert early in the first half kind of derailed or set the tone of the football game in terms of how this was going to be. And this was the DA's finest night to score this many points. And now with an Andre Knight's conversion, the score becomes 53-32. This game is all but over as the Kastners connect for a 8-yard grab. What is there left to say about this finest team, Mo? You know what? They did the sweep. They won the highest division in winter. They won the highest division in spring. I mean, they're up there now with maybe the Young Guns as being one of the greatest teams of FPF history along with the Hurricanes. We'll have to find out next winter what they do, if they can win another winter title and maybe put themselves above those teams. Which one's more impressive, Mo? I know you were part of one of them, but I mean, for me, this one might be more impressive. This is probably a little bit more impressive in terms of what they have to do, adjusting to the injuries that they suffered, guys who weren't able to make it this spring. But I think the winter season was a lot tougher in terms of the competition that they endured with so many great teams in the winter season.
As we continue on with the play-by-play, it's really been an excellent season. I mean, despite the loss, I think you have to say that as we see this incompletion to Adley Dufour, good defense by Kevin Wyeth of all people, you'd have to think he's going to win playoff MVP on this one.
I think he has a great chance to win the playoff MVP. The new Lombardi trophy that we have for the MVPs. Whoever gets that will be very ecstatic to get a little mini Super Bowl trophy.
Well, that Derek Kastner touchdown will effectively probably be the last play of this game, as the Finest will just grind out the clock at the end. Congratulations, I think, are in order for the Finest, as they are champions in this game, and Kevin Wyeth, after this play, will be crowned playoff MVP. We're quite certain, I think, at this point. Congratulations to the Finest, Division A champions of Flag Plus football, and congratulations to Kevin Wyeth winning playoff MVP in this game as well. Welcome everybody to the post-game interview with the two representatives of the Finest, or DA Finest, or whatever it is. Kevin Wyeth, freshly minted playoff MVP, and some guy who's not really here. Right?
I've been around
right
a couple times.
All right, Andre Knight's not bad too. So first of all, guys, obviously it's not the first championship for either of you guys. How does it feel to be in this moment right now?
Me personally, it feels great just because I didn't have a chance to play with these guys a couple of seasons because I was away. So just coming back and being able to bond with the guys and get on that field and get another W in the finals is great. It was awesome.
Great. It's always fun to win, especially championships. MVP too. That was good.
So this was obviously a different game, not what we usually expect from the Finest. A lot of the deck was really stacked against you guys. A lot of injuries, a lot of guys missing. Obviously not having a Ked Moore, not having Rashdi, and then Pat Jerome being injured. You yourself, Kevin, playing with an injury. We're not used to having to see Montreal's or the Finest have to overcome adversity. So what was the mindset? What did you guys have to say to each other to get psyched up in that different situation for this game?
Well, we knew that we were going to need to get a turnover on the defense for sure, whether it was a pick or stopping them on fourth down. We did both, and we knew Kevin would bring us home from there. So we knew at least 2 turnovers, 1 in each half. Kevin would bring us home after that. So that was the motivation. Kevin told us he needed it. We did it for him, and that's all that we needed.
And Kevin, obviously you had shoulder problems going into this game. I heard Don tell me earlier that you were having trouble throwing a football a couple days ago. And beyond that, you were playing defense for a lot of the game as well, especially early on. So talk to me about what happened for you in this game. How were you able to maintain your composure and play so well?
3 Advil and a lot of adrenaline. Tiger Bomb. Other than that, yeah, it was just a lot of adrenaline. Kept me going. Running was no problem. It was just the throwing I was worried about. But
date with an ice bath tonight? Okay. Obviously, we said Kevin Wyeth got the playoff MVP, but we'll talk about another guy who almost came down with it. Yeah. Pat Jerome, guy who we can get him in there. you pull him in. Pull him in. So stay classy. Keep it classy, Pat. All right. Let's talk about his efforts in this game, and obviously things looked close for a while, and then he broke it open. So talk to me about what he did in this game.
You want me to talk, or you want him to say it?
Yeah, Pat can talk about himself. He doesn't mind.
You saw what he was doing, man. He's just he's got those young legs. Himself, he was injured, but you couldn't tell on the field. You know, he had a tackle game earlier today, and you see what he can do. Not too many people can keep up with him, and he brought it home, especially on that pick. That was a good save. That pick. I thought you were gonna take it for 6 though. You're rusty. You're a little bit rusty, man.
All right, and well, maybe we've seen like 3 fields in front of him, so yeah. You know we won't put any pressure on him.
Probably would have got the MVP if he took that one for 6, right? What do you think?
I think he would have, yeah.
yeah, you would have had it.
But he didn't, and so let's talk about the guy who did. Pat, maybe you could say some words about your QB in this game. Kevin Wyeth gets playoff MVP. I know you feel you were robbed, but just tell me about his play overall in this game and throughout the season.
Seriously, he's the best QB I ever played with now, and he's smart on the field, so I have nothing to say, but he's the best. He's the best, and that's it.
All right, well, that's I think that's probably a good good way to talk about that. But about this game in particular, was there any point you guys were nervous?
To be honest,
You can say it.
Rainmakers are a great team, but Kevin instills this confidence in you. It's not cocky. He lets you know we're gonna win. We're down. We only had 6 people to start the game. Kevin said we're gonna win. You look at this guy's face before the game; he was hurting, but in that huddle, he can lead. He can lead you to create an NFL team. You feel confident to beat anybody.
Well, I think there's no better endorsement for the playoff MVP than that one that Andre Knights just gave. So I just want to say any last words. You know, obviously bookending the season. Kevin, for you, is 2 championships in a row. But Andre and Pat also championships for you guys in the season. Final words for the season. We'll start with you, Andre.
Well, the season for me was only 2 games.
It was a heck of a season, then.
so,
2 wins.
It feels like it was 14 games. I gotta tell you, I'm getting old, but it was great. It was great to be part of the the final one as well. With you guys.
All right, sure.
Kevin, a great season. A lot of fun, always is. I'll be back next year.
I'll be looking forward to seeing it.
Hey, let me give you guys a little snippet. Shockers might make a comeback for that winter season. You might have heard it here first.
All right, back to the post game.
And welcome back to the Weekly Extra Point Live Road Show for the Div A recap as DA's Finest has won their first ever spring title as they've completed the, Grand Slam sweep of winning the highest division titles in a calendar year, winning D1 Winter, now DA Spring, as they easily defeated the Rainmakers. Darren Badgerjan, your thoughts on this football game? Were you surprised by the outcome, given that initially the reports were all these guys were on the MASH unit, not in the starting lineup?
Definitely surprised, I have to say. Obviously, in the pregame when we were discussing it, we mentioned all the injuries, and Kevin Wyatt himself said after that it was 3 Advils and adrenaline was what it took for him to get through this game, and he might not be feeling well after, but he played extremely well, and really you couldn't even tell that he was injured. He even played defense a lot of the time because Pat Jerome was late coming to the game, himself a victim of possibly a concussion apparently.
Well, Pat Jerome pulled a Paul Pierce from the NBA playoffs a few years ago against the LA Lakers in the finals and had a fantastic game, and that might have been the difference in why the Rainmakers lost the football game as opposed to winning with Pat Jerome back in the lineup. Look at Ryan Castor. Watching him after the game, you can see how disappointed he was, dejected on losing this final, how close he was with his football team. From the Rainmakers' perspective, what went wrong for them in this game?
It's hard for me to tell. It's just the Finest is just an extremely hard team to stop, and I think the worst thing is every time they were trading blows and they were getting scores and they were driving down the field and doing a good job, doing what they needed to, and then boom, first play, Kevin Wyatt to Pat Jerome touchdown. I mean, that's deflating no matter what you do. And it's not like they had some scrub covering him either. I mean, it was Adley before, I think, on at least one of the 2, if not both. And it was just a matchup that Kevin Wyatt exploited, and it was very much in the Finest's favor. And it's unfortunate because when you have that coming at you, it puts so much pressure on an offense to have to go back and score. It puts so much pressure on the defense to try and cause a turnover, and they were just not able to force a turnover by the Finest offense.
You know, it's funny because the Finest had a lot of one-score plays, 40-yard touchdown bombs to Pat Jerome. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, my apologies. I've been here for quite a while here. But it seemed to me that the Rainmakers never got to that slow-down offense that has made them successful against the Finest. And I think you're right, though. Going blow for blow, they kind of felt the pressure of trying to capitalize, even though they may have not had the same arsenal as the Finest is.
Yes, that's true. But on the same hand, I almost felt like at some point they did have to pick up the pace. I said so in the halftime, and I still feel that they are, well, their type of game is very slow, methodical, and to try and keep the ball away from the other team. I almost feel like sometimes they need to get out of their comfort zone because they have so much talent that they weren't utilizing it. And you saw in that second half they started pushing it and taking more chances. Worked out sometimes, didn't work out sometimes, but that's what happens when you face a team as good as the Finest.
At what point did you think the game was over?
I think there was still a chance. All they needed was a turnover up until that interception by Pat Jerome. So that was still fairly late in the game. I still believe there was a chance because everything seemed to be going the Rainmakers' way going into this game.
Yeah.
And that's when it really fell apart, and I realized this was going to be another Finest championship.
All right, then looking ahead here, of course, winter season, both these teams will be back in Div 1. Of course, this could be a new Div 1 given how so many teams may make the jump up to the highest league possible in FPF. Look at the Rainmakers first and foremost. What do they have to do to get themselves to this point of the season and hopefully win it again, or hopefully win one finally down the road?
I don't think they have to do much, Mo. They have I can't imagine the team being much better than it is. Ryan Castor just won QB of the year. Derek Castor is a solid snapper. They have good chemistry with each other. The other receivers they have are all top-notch, well-established receivers, both outdoors in CIS and things like that, but also especially in flag plus football. Now there is a question of will they have Teddy Fournette? And Teddy Fournette had a great chemistry with Ryan Kastner, but if he's back with his team
The Expos, yes.
Expos, then that's one huge weapon that they will be losing, and they will have to try and find someone to replicate that combination of Castner to Fournette, and defensively as well. But if they're able to replace Teddy Fournette with somebody, I think that they have everything they need.
Looking at, now DA/Montreal's Finest, they will be the defending champions for the calendar year next season. What do they have to do? Do they keep the same roster, given that there was, look, with all due respect, no Nathan Taylor, no Mark Champagne, no Delian Charles, no Mo Khan included, but what do they have to do to get themselves better and maybe make another deep run again next spring?
Well, I think based on what we saw this season, depth is going to be very important for this team. It's difficult. I mean, obviously they had a sequence of freak things happen, but you saw at the end they were lucky that Andre Knights was allowed to play because of that whole situation within the three teams, each one asking to qualify a certain player. But other than that, they still had Kevin Wise playing defense in this game, so they have to address depth. I think that's a big one. But they found some players who can contribute to them in a pinch. I mean, a guy like Ronaldo Jordan, he's a solid player, not mentioned much, but he's a solid player who's a worthy player to be on this team as a depth player. Pat Jerome is a guy I think who can have a very bright future with this team. I think he can make them even harder to stop. Nathan Taylor, we'll see because of his CIS commitments. We don't know if he'll be back. Mark Champagne is another huge player. So I think this team can only get better from here on in because they've always gone from the same core season to season, but they had so many new guys that they've identified new potential targets, which is good. This is a team that could have used some young blood.
Absolutely. So we'll have to find out what both these teams do from here until, I guess, January, first week of January, for the new FPF season. Finally, Darren, what grade would you give this game?
Not a very high grade. It wasn't very entertaining. It was still close back and forth, but it lacked that intensity that we wanted. So I would give it, I think, probably a B, similar to what I would have given Division B's finals. Very well played, fairly entertaining for a bit, but the outcome was not really in doubt past the second half.
Well, there you have it. Darren Basserjan's preview, halftime report, and recap of the Div A finals as the DA's finals win their first ever spring title in their franchise history. We want to thank a lot of people who were a part of this. Jim Clarethus, who did cover Div A, Don Shepard, who did cover Div A and Div B as well, and yourself, Darren, who wrote the articles every single week covering Div A and B, of course. We want to thank you for your hard work and dedication.
It was a lot of fun to cover. Obviously, Div A, they're the cream of the crop, and looking at those guys and what they've done this season and with the interdivisional play as well, Division A facing off against Division B, I'm really hoping, as you mentioned earlier, that Division 1 will see a lot more teams with more guys moving up and testing themselves. I think we all believe that they can compete and they should compete. And also, if they come up, some of the powerhouses like Montreal's Finest might lose a couple guys, and that might balance the playing field even more.
A lot of intrigue, a lot of gray right now for the time being for the months of September, October, November, and December. We'll see what happens next in the next few months with Div 1. If we see teams moving up or moving down or no longer existing, we'll find out. Thanks to the visionary Robert Campana for his hard work and dedication. Without him, there'd be no weekly Extra Point Live, but of course he is the man behind this project. And you, Darren, of course, great job by you. And of course, all of our Div 8 teams that participated, great finish this season, great playoffs. And that's pretty much about it.
Thanks to Mo Khan
oh,
as well
thank
for
you.
all the hard work. I mean, you mentioned that we're all doing, we all wear many hats, but nobody wears more hats than Mo Khan, prepping for A, B, C, and D every week. So good job, Mo.
Thank you very much, Darren. And without further ado, the magic words, please.
That's it for us here at the Weekly Extra Point Live Division A Championship Roadshow Finals Edition. That's a mouthful. We will see you here next year, but until then.
Good night, spring 2012. We'll see you first week of January 2013 for the winter season. And good night from Brossard.